I called the Brutal Tide stance slow and clunky before, but I think I finally get it. Hello, I am Blaze, and welcome back to Warframe. The Kogake Prime are one of the two most recent primed weapons that were released alongside Mirage Prime, and as one would expect, are the primed version of the much earlier Kogake sparring weapons. Like all primed gear, they can be acquired through relics that contain them until they are eventually vaulted some years down the line, or through Mirage Prime access while Prime access remains available. The Kogake Prime trades out some of the Kogake's critical stats in exchange for a significant increase to its status chance, which of course means it works extremely well with condition overload status builds, while the attack speed modifier remains the same. It also gets a sizable base damage increase up to 70, primarily in impact, compared to the base Kogake's comparatively tiny 35 base damage. Finally, and very conveniently for many players, the Kogake Prime comes along with 3 Madurai polarities in its mod slots by default, meaning for most builds you can level these up once, install a catalyst, and you're done without having to spend any Forma, plus the Narumon polarity in its stance slot to match Brutal Tide. I did still Forma it once to be able to fit Primed Fever Strike in, but I am still pleasantly surprised by the default polarities on offer. The Kogake Prime do have their downsides though, namely that sparring weapons have among the shortest reach of any melee weapon in the game, which can make engaging groups of enemies, or even individual enemies sometimes, problematic. There is also the matter of the Kogake family slide attacks getting somewhat nerfed. The Obex family still launches enemies into orbit, but the Kogake now just pops them up a little bit and they crumple pretty close to where they were. In terms of usability, this is definitely preferable because good luck finishing off an enemy you just launched that far away. But it does cut down on some of the entertainment value. The sparring weapon's short reach is remedied somewhat by using Brutal Tide at least, and there is something of a trick to it. The first hit of Brutal Tide launches you forward some distance, and the last hit of its 2 pause 2 combo also launches you forward, and does a slam effect around you when executed. I recently found much greater success with it than I had in the past by carefully metering out where enemies were and slowing down my attack inputs, so I could take advantage of the stance's movements to clear distances. This combined with the agile handspring slide attack, the spinning heel kick for the air, and the weapon's generally plentiful ways of ragdolling or knocking down enemies means that when you finally get a good flow going, you might feel like you're playing a Batman game instead. Except you're actually doing all the attacks and darting between enemies manually, which feels really awesome because it's actually you doing it rather than just pushing a button and having the game turn your enemies into gravity wells for your fists. Just watch out for these jerks if you're doing missions in the Void, because they still have an extremely unreasonable damage output and can instantly kill you if you happen to be close to them at the wrong time. Fittingly enough for the counterintuitively agile combat stance the sparring weapons encourage, the Kogake Prime also comes along with a passive bonus to your movement speed of 5%. You can take it or leave it, I guess. It's nice to have a passive effect on melee weapons, and I imagine this is another little edge for those in the pursuit of max power speed, but most of us can probably largely ignore that the movement speed boost is there at all. I have found that including primed reach does afford some added usability with the Brutal Tide stance, as it gives some extra range to the longer reaching kicks, and makes a good bit more difference than you might assume it would for weapons that are literally just your hands and feet. If you feel like the slight range increase isn't worth it though, by all means, a more standard build with pressure point will work fine too. I'm not sure how much I'll use these personally, but they are definitely powerful, and are worth trying out even if you previously didn't like sparring weapons. For example, that was me before I tried out the Kogake Prime. Suffice it to say, I'm very impressed. Thank you for watching my video on the Kogake Prime. All comments are appreciated, and I hope to see you around next time. Feel free to click over to some of my other videos if you enjoyed this one, and as always, good luck, have fun, and take care.